Oh, my gentle viewer, I'm so happy to see you here because today I'm going to tell you about my absolute new favorite budget keyboard with this Madcatz S.T.R.I.K.E 6. Good afternoon, morning, and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese, the 4-piece variety of Wooks Triple XL. And this Madcatz S.T.R.I.K.E 6 has got me so excited, I've had to restart filming 3 times over. Hopefully third time is the charm over here now. Because this, at the price point, is just mind-blowingly good. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. I was hopeful for it to be just a little bit better than the other keyboards in the price range. But this thing is so good. You could genuinely charge 1,300 Rand for it. That's where it is. But the price point right now is 700 South African rands, which is just amazing to me. This is literally the best budget keyboard there is on the entire Evetech store right now. So I'm really glad to tell you about it today and show you why. So let's start off from the top and go through the package contents. You get a really nice sticker from Madcatz, a really nice set over there. I hope to see those on bumper stickers in the near future, sort of how Razer's done it with their branding. Very nice little touch. 2 pullers as well, one for your keycap and one for your switch, obviously. 5 spare black switches, which are heavier than the built-in red switches that it comes with. The keyboard itself, obviously, and then a really nice braided Type-C cable. They don't seem to be interchangeable. On a note there, I tried other Type-Cs on it. I've got 2 other detachable Type-C keyboards, and neither of those cables worked on this keyboard. So a little bit concerning there, but at the price point, and I'm sure there will be other Type-C cables that will work. Maybe these ones just specifically are for those keyboards. I don't know. We'll have to see sort of in time where that takes us. Moving on to the keyboard itself though, 3-degree angle, really nicely troughed keys. The keycaps themselves as well have troughing in them, so they will contour to the fingertip really nicely. I found typing on this to be pretty damn comfortable, even with that little 3-degree setup. Basically use it for 4 days for everything. So yeah, for gaming and typing and comfort, I found the actual setup to be pretty damn good, to the point that I'm seriously considering getting one just to have as a spare. The keycap set is so good. It reminds me of like a 6GV2 or a Quickfire Pro. They are textured, so they will get shine over time, but the actual plastic and the quality of them is so high. This is what I normally see on 60% that cost like 1,800, that are nearly 3 times the price of this, which is really good for this thing's future, because you can see by the spare keycaps, or by the spare switches at least, this is a modular design. You can remove the switches from this and just get any dipole setup. There is a bit of a problem with it being a north-facing LED. It means that keycap sets generally misalign in the middle rows. But because these keycaps are so damn good, you will be replacing your switches before the keycap themselves. I can almost guarantee that in your future. These are some of the beefiest keycaps that I've seen on a keyboard. At this price point, there's absolutely nothing that is comparable. The key set does have a full set of function sets built into it by default, but you can then go and mod that in the software. The software being pretty damn comprehensive. It had some features and functions that I haven't seen on 2,500 Rand keyboards, which was very interesting to me that was in here. Clunky, I think that's an understatement. This thing looks like it was designed in Windows XP, if we're honest. But functionality wise, on a keyboard of this price, I'm more than happy with what I have access to. The fact that I can macro and just reassign any key on that function set is absolutely fantastic, because there might be functions on here that I'm never going to use, but I can repurpose them into something else or into a quick macro. Very nasty setup. Now let's talk about the usage of the keyboard itself, what it actually is like to use. I don't think you're quite right, or quite ready at least, for how damn well these things are lubricated and stabilized out of the box. Bear in mind, this is a 700 Rand keyboard. Just listen to this. Did you hear a single rattle there? I did not. Spooky, right? For a 700 Rand keyboard, it's got lubrication on all of the stabilizers. What? Okay, that's fantastic. Flat deck as well, so when you do remove the keycaps, very, very easy to clean. Very easy to get in at the switches as well. Little bit hard to pull though. I did find that even with my grip strength, this key puller was not cutting the mustard and left me a little bit wanting and concerned. Then I used my own key puller, which is much more beefy, and then eventually they did come out. These are some of the tightest slots I've ever used, so just be careful with that. When you are putting in the switches as well, make sure you go in with the pins first and then put the backside in. If you do it the other way around, they're just going to bend underneath like 100% of the time. That is going to be in your case, and you're just going to break switches effectively and have to throw them away. But the audio and the actual switch itself, their red switch is fantastic. It's completely linear. The only sound you're hearing is from the key actually hitting the backboard at the end of the stroke. And I'm okay with it. It's got a decent thok. I mean, this is a 700 Rand keyboard. It has no business sounding like that. It has no business having this good of a keycap. It has no business having this good of an in-house switch, because these are actually all well, almost said Monster up there. These are all Madcatz branded. These are actually their switches. They look like they're KL OEMs, if I'm honest. They're very similar to the KL Reds that I use. So they probably are basically KL Reds. But they come with a full set of mechanical with backlighting that's absolutely fantastic, that I can control with decent software. How is this keyboard this good? How is it this poorly marketed as well? Rubberizing on the bottom. There is one small problem. Well, two, right? This is not all that sunshine and rainbows. Let's make it 3. We'll take it up to 3 because this one may be worth mentioning. Some of my Type-Cs from some of my other keyboards that have detachable Type-Cs didn't work. It might be down to this is a full signal Type-C, where those are slightly different. In general, I really haven't had an issue with that. I've often just used those cables on other devices and it hasn't been a problem. When I connected it to this, the lights came on, but nobody was at home. So that was a bit of a weird one. So perhaps you're going to need this specific cable for its entire lifetime. It doesn't move around much, right? So I don't really see that being too much of a concern down the road. The switches are incredibly hard to pull. If you're using this key puller, you're going to need the tighten grip of 1,000 cherry blossoms in order to get one switch out, all right? Just prepare your arms for that. And then the last problem, unfortunately, is the fact that I can't find any screws along the back. There's just rubberizing in all 4 corners. So what I assume is underneath each of these is going to be a screw that's then going to let you take apart the keyboard and service it. So you're probably going to need to keep some glue on hand, or maybe some even new rubber feet. I would remove these myself to see how that goes. I just don't want to, return this in an absolute husk state to Evetech. Because yeah, I don't get to keep all of the stuff I review, believe it or not. But 700 Rand, 700 Rand, guys. There is nothing like this. I was suggesting E3s hand over fist, the Gumdias, at that price point. They are fantastic. This absolutely annihilates it. It's not even close. The keycaps are better. There's full set of software for it. You can remove the switches and replace them with your own in the future. It's just a dead heat. There's absolutely, before you even get into things like the fact that the stabilizer is actually lubricated for the spacebar. Madcatz, where's this been all my life? I'm shouting at you. You sent me a Strike 13, which was good. Cherry mixed red switches. Actually wasn't a very good keyboard. But this is what I'm talking about. This is amazing for the South African market. A lot of homies just don't have 2-3 grand to spend on a keyboard. You don't have to now. I'm here to tell you, this thing for 700 bucks, you will not regret it. You will not get a better keyboard than this under Corsair K65. That's where you go to from here. From here, you go to Corsair K65. This thing is absolutely incredible. I included it in my top 10, and now I'm really glad I did. And honestly, I'd probably put this now in a podium position. This would be a top 3 just because of its modular nature and this keycap set. And well, like I said, all of those things I've mentioned. It's incredible. Absolutely. At the price point, it's 10 out of 10. It's maybe 11 out of 10. I'm going to stop gushing now at this keyboard and probably go and actually steal this one. Thanks, Evetech. Appreciate you. Until next time, hope you guys stay safe, keep well. If you have enjoyed this review, hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Meow.